Hello, 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 and welcome to the ENG YNPL review show. We have
Yeah, you got it right. Hey.
I did actually write it down a little bit as well. But yes, welcome. I'm Smiler from FBL Broadcasting, part of the Clearly Corporation. Got Richard, who's part of ENG. We mate, busy weekend past and coming up, which is going to be present. So I suppose we starting the under 12s. I suppose. What do you reckon?
No, yeah, definitely. So this is a special review show because it's the grand finals review show, and for the next half an hour, I'm going to dissect every single team, what they could have done better, potentially what they could have done, what they did well, what they can do to improve for next season. And if you want to accept my wisdom, you can do. If
Careful,
not,
people. Careful.
it doesn't matter, does it? It's just it's an opinions game, isn't it? But
It
the
is.
best thing about what I do is I can stand back outside the box and I can analyze things without any emotional attachment to what's going on. I just, like I said, I just enjoy the competition side of it.
Yeah. And you can, like, especially today, you can also join in people because, can't stress enough, put your comments in and also follow us on, you're on Instagram, aren't you, Richard?
Yeah,
Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter, TikTok.
No, gave it up. Boring.
I'm not on Facebook, but I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and also the FBL Streams live website, of course, and YouTube, of course. Oh, you're on YouTube as well, aren't you? Obviously.
Yeah. Your YouTube.
Of course I am. Yeah. So these are the places where you get your updates, and you get his wisdom as well, people. Don't forget that. You get his wisdom on those. He does a lot of updates, don't you, Richard, on all that sort of stuff. So people, as well as watching his review shows, click subscribe. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in there. And also don't forget to comment, because we'd like to hear whether or not you agree with Richard and maybe my insane sort of ideas and results or what I reckon. But there we go. Put it in the comments and we can even bring it up on screen. Hey, Rich.
100%.
You're like, whoa, do you want to breathe there, bud? Do you want to breathe?
It'd be nice to get people's thoughts on what happened, because we had two very successful competitions. The overall feedback has been beyond my expectations, because normally when you do these things, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of emotion coming into the game, into the event. So, there is potential for a lot of moaning, because that's what happens in life. But this one in particular was well received. Everyone seemed to be happy with the structure of the competition. They were happy with the format. They were happy with the match play. And it just kind of ended the story. We had followed these teams for X amount of months. We'd tried to build characters within their leagues, and then we kind of finalized the story on Saturday, and it was a great story. It's a great story, and especially the two final games we had. You can see that there's not a lot within the top teams. There's not a lot within the top 8, to be honest, and that's what I found. That's what I was pleased with the most. The teams coming into it who come fourth in the league, they could look back on this competition and think, hold on a minute, we could have. We're not a million miles away. And I'll touch upon that as we go into it. But we kick off with the under 12s competition.
Go on then.
So
up on screen.
Yeah, get your screen up.
Get my screen up. Right, let me get there. Share it. There we go. Add to the stream. Boom. There we go.
So, quarterfinals, Stars took on Wire, and that was a 24-20 win to Stars. So that was top from the south, playing fourth from the north. Just a quick insight into how that game went. Wire, 6 points up in the first quarter. So for me, watching, I thought they've got this in the bag. I didn't think Stars had enough good competitive games in their league to potentially compete alongside Wire. And for the first quarter in particular, it did look like that Wire would go on and win this game very convincingly. But whether it's a coach changing things up, or whether Stars just didn't perform as well as they could have done in the first quarter, they slowly started to come back into the game. Defensively, they were solid, and the more success they had, the more confident they become, and the less confident Wire become. So I do think it was Wire had the opportunity there to really put Stars in a position where they could kill their confidence early on. But Stars, once they started turning the ball over and started scoring, their confidence just went through the roof. And that's the amazing thing about sport. One moment can just change everything. And you can see it in the kids' faces. You can see it in their match play. They go from sluggishly throwing the ball or looking indecisive to looking like they know what they're doing. A bit like me sometimes, don't know what I'm doing half the time. Then all of a sudden, everything clicks. Then I think I know what I'm doing. But then a moment later, you go back to being neutralized again. But Stars won that game in the end 24-20. Wire would be hugely disappointed that they couldn't get the win there. Number one, because of their really good start, and number two, on in regards to how they faded as the game went on. So maybe a mentality thing to work on there. But Stars, in terms of their mental ability to stay in the game, we saw it in the we saw it in the league where they were 6 points behind against Turnford in the last game of the season, come back to win. That's a very good skill they possess, to not panic, to stay focused, and to keep believing throughout the game. So Stars got the win there. So there was no shock there. The form on paper suggested Stars would win because they come top of the South, and they did. Next game was Sutton Town versus Odom. Sutton Town come third in the South. Odom come second in the North. Odom won the game 30-12, but I've got to give it to Sutton Town, and I'm going to admit this now. I thought it would be by more, but Sutton Town played absolutely brilliant, and they they obviously had done their homework coming into this competition. They played with a maturity that I hadn't seen in them this season, but they just come up against a really good Odom team, a really good team that had the ability to win by quite a bit. But because Sutton Town prepared well, they had a good temperament to their game, and they never gave up throughout the whole entire game as well. They managed to be competitive and to ask questions of Odom. And you could see when Odom won the game how happy they were to get that win, because they knew it was a tough game of netball. So well done there to Sutton Town, but also well done to Odom, because that result put them into the semi-finals.
Top up, son.
that drive from London today was terrible. But next up, Kingsville Power against Eagles. This is probably the most one-sided game we had throughout the whole Saturday. But like I said in my program notes, the fact that Eagles were here was a success of in itself, because they'd worked so hard to get here. They started the league very slow, started the league very slow, and kind of were in this. Yeah.
In this thing, yeah?
Yeah. So, yeah, they started the league relatively slow, managed to get some momentum at the back end of the season, crept into the top four, and their prize for doing that was a game against Kingsville Power. Yes, they're out their depth a little bit, but the experience for them was vital. So well done to Eagles, and also well done to Kingsville Power for getting a convincing win there. The next game was Turnford, so second from the South against third from the North. Turnford is 11-23 to Leeds. Turnford started superbly. They just couldn't keep up that great start they had. It would be tough, but they did take the game to Leeds and went in the first quarter ahead. So that's all you can ask for when you put these competitions on. It's just every team, make sure you're competitive and make sure you give give teams the best possible game. And Turnford did that. They had a good start, but Leeds have a lot of strength and depth in their team, and they managed to stabilise themselves. They managed to grow in confidence as the games went on, and they won the tie 23-11. So well done to Leeds. So our semi-finals was Stars versus Odom, Kingsville Power versus Leeds, and our 5th to 8th playoff was Wyre versus Sutton Town, Turnford versus Eagles. So in the 5th to 8th playoff, Wyre got a convincing win against Sutton Town. Similar type of win to the Odom game. And I don't know how reflective that would have been if Wyre would have gone on and played Odom in the semi-finals, if they would have beaten Stars. But good win. It can be tough for teams to kind of keep that confidence going when they've been beaten in the quarterfinals, because they know they go off on a different path, a path that guarantees they won't compete for the title.
Yeah.
So heads could potentially drop, but no. Wyre showed some great professionalism, and they won against Sutton Town 27-10. Turnford took on Eagles, so that was a good win for Turnford. So Wyre and Turnford 23-10, but Eagles a much improved performance from the Kingsville Power game. So well done to Eagles again. Semi-finals, Stars versus Odom. I thought the result would be a lot higher. I thought Odom would win that 15, maybe 20 points, but Stars shocked me with how competitive they were, how unfazed by the match they were, and it was a good result. They did ask questions of Odom, and the score suggests it was relatively close, but yeah, Odom had to work for the win, and I think Stars will take a lot from the game and kind of think to themselves, we're not a million miles away from these teams. So, yeah, but Odom went into the final and they played they were looking at the Kingsville Power Leeds Athletic game, and a lot of people, when I was talking to them during the event, said that Leeds was going on to win this game. And part of me thought it's possible, but when I saw how Kingsville Power started the first game, I thought, you cannot allow Kingsville Power to start well. You do that, you're asking for trouble, and that's exactly what Leeds did. Unfortunately, they allowed Kingsville Power to get that momentum early doors, get a good lead, which means you're playing catch up. And there was a point in the third quarter where Leeds were coming back. I think where it got down to potentially maybe three points, and they could have got it down to 2. But then there was a turnover. So they did put a good fight up in the end, Leeds. In the fourth quarter, I think they knew it was game over. Then the performance levels dropped slightly. So, but Leeds did stay with them for the first 3 quarters. But unfortunately, to beat Kingsville Power, you need to start well. And Leeds, unfortunately, did not do that. So that's why they were beaten 27-17 against Kingsville Power. So that moves us on. Let's start with 7th to 8th playoff. So Sutton Town Eagles. Good solid win here for Eagles. I thought Sutton Town would win this game, but Eagles got the win. They claimed 7th place. And yeah, Sutton Town had I think beaten Eagles quite convincingly in the league. So that was a good solid win for Eagles in their last game of the day. So well done to Eagles. They are 7th officially in the country, and Sutton Town were 8th in the country. So well done there to both those teams. Then it was Turnford versus Wyre, 20-29 to Wyre. So Wyre finished 5th. Again, another good performance from Wyre. And next season, they're probably so focused now on getting through this initial stage, to try and get the best possible finish. So Wyre, well done, officially 5th in the country, and Turnford were 6th.
Done. Yes. And
then 3rd and 4th playoff, Leeds versus Stars. I didn't see much this game, but for what I did see, Leeds were just a bit too strong for Stars.
Where were you?
I was watching the final.
Oh, funny enough, so was I.
Yeah. But yeah, it seemed to me Leeds Athletic were a bit too strong for Stars, but Leeds probably a little bit frustrated that they couldn't start better against Kingsville Power, but they got the third place finish, so they're the third best team in the league, and Stars fourth. So it's a great result for Stars. But the final, Kingsville Power versus Odom, it was 19-17 to Kings. No, not Kingsville Power. Odom. That was dangerous, wasn't it?
I think we got a soundbite coming up with that one.
But the trick to this one was, number one, hold on. I think Odom went in winning the first quarter. Am I right in saying that?
Do you want me to have a look on the live stream?
Yeah, go on. Pick it up. Actually, just run the live stream in the background and we can... man.
We got to pay for that.
But Odom did start well. What I think Odom did very well was they disrupted the flow of Kingsville Power's passing. How they did it, I'm not particularly sure, but it seemed to me that they turned the game into a bit of a dogfight. At times, the game was very sloppy, but for me, that suited Odom better. Not because they're a sloppy team, for anyone suggests that. It's because I think they would rather that type of match play against Kingsville Power, because once you allow Kingsville Power to kind of get into their flow and their rhythm, you're in a lot of trouble. So the game did get a bit scrappy, especially in the second quarter. But it benefited Odom because then they could calm the game down, they could slow the game down, and they then could slowly but surely, work their way into the game. And the most pivotal moment of this game, Martin,
go on.
If you go to the third quarter, and I put this on my social media, if you go right to the last 20 seconds of the third quarter,
did you not want to see what happened on? I hate when that
Yeah.
right comes up there.
I think Odom went in the head. They did, yeah. So Odom did something that most clubs, every club must do if you're playing Kings of Power to give yourself the best possible chance, and that's go in winning after the first quarter, because it's just a confidence thing. I think they were down at half time, so they showed a lot of character. But this in the third quarter, Martin, if you go to the last 20 seconds.
Oh, that's going to be hard, but okay.
No, seriously, this is the most pivotal moment. No, go to the last 30 seconds, because two things happen. And I'm not sure if anyone picked up on this.
Let's make this as small as that. I can actually see the timer. We're on the fourth quarter there, so let's go back. Third quarter. There we go.
Here we go.
Get in there. 20 seconds? You said 20 seconds and you changed it to 30.
No, go back 30 if you can, because there's two things
that
happened.
40 I'll do. Right, okay.
There you go. So there was two big moments in this quarter.
Sorry.
Watch it. So I see if you can spot the first one, Martin. See if you can spot it.
Spot what? Sorry, I was too busy trying to get running
Something
VT.
happens in a second, which is a lot of luck.
Okay.
When God's on your side, God is on your side. So something happens in a minute, which
a minute or 10 seconds.
Again?
A minute or 10 seconds. Now you told me to go back.
About 7 seconds. Go on.
All right, see if I pick it up. So something pivotal happens. Let's have a look. Was it just there?
No. Keep going. No, Daisy's got a ball. Right, watch this now. Watch this. You just missed it. Go back a little bit.
No, I think I swapped camera then. That's why.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Trust me. So watch this. Just let it play. So Daisy's got a ball.
It froze.
That's strange, because I actually saw it on the live. So basically,
maybe it's this then. Maybe it's my system, my PC glitching. So here, you're talking about here, yeah?
Yeah. So what happens is Daisy throws the ball, and I think it's the goal attack the goal defense.
Does it catch her hand?
No, she slaps it and it hits the post and comes back to her. So potentially that could have gone back out of play and it would have been a Kingsville Power ball.
Right.
But it smacks against the post and it comes back to her. Now, check out what happens in the next phase of play. It's
Just keeps on
incredible.
tugging,
Watch
isn't it?
this. This is incredible. Come on, Ryan. Come on. Come on.
It's the camera, man. It's me. There we go. Shot. You see. Let me. Can I quickly explain something? Right. Sometimes I have got to improve the joystick, get a new joystick thing because you played around with it. But sometimes I'm moving it right, and I'm seeing how they're going to take the shot. But I'm like, I've got go to camera 3, and that's what that sort of thing is like. Move it across and see, because I get. Remember what I said? I'm like the dog. I'm like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? And I'm trying to get it all there. That was a shot and a half, because when you do that countdown, that definitely it starts something without a doubt. You can feel it. It's like, gotta get that ball in.
Well, would they have known to do that without the countdown?
Definitely not. Definitely not. And I think that the countdown to me is like 1,000,000%. It's like the best thing you could ever do in the game, because it's like, if you're gonna make a chance happen, now's the time. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Well, that goal there meant that they went in 15-14 ahead going into the final quarter.
Yeah.
So you had the defender smacking it against the post and it coming back to her. Then you had the attacker. I'm sorry, I forget names, but then you had the attacker who just sunk an incredible shot. Now I've got better footage of that from the guy. See, if you look behind,
check what you're saying, sir. Better footage than that.
More
did they sit there and spend 10 hours doing everything, putting 3 cameras? They only had 1 camera. How dare you?
But if you go to, I'm just trying to think where you'd pick this up. You go on my Facebook, but you probably can't be bothered to go there. But the guy behind, he's doing all the promotional footage for me, and he actually picks up that moment, but he doesn't pick up the shot going in. He actually picks up the shooter's kind of reaction to scoring, and you can see how much that meant to him. It was like they kind of won the competition at that moment, because the confidence levels went through the roof.
Do you know what? I just had a mind thing on that. They really, they went mad, didn't they? And I thought, do they know this is only the third? That's what I remember in my head now. Do they know this is only the third quarter? They haven't won yet. They still got another quarter to go.
Yeah. No, it was massive. That was so I can't tell you how big that moment was for Odom. And after that, in the fourth quarter, it was still relatively close. But I think defensively, Odom just shut Kingsville Power down. And I think confidence levels in the Kingsville Power team weren't particularly great at that point. There's a few missed shots and passes being thrown astray. And in the end, that they got the win. And Martin, if you go back to the under-12s page, it's an incredible moment when they do win.
Okay, let me pause this. The under-12s, right? Yeah, you want to press play?
Yeah.
I saw this. You put this out on Twitter, didn't you? Not Twitter, Instagram.
So you could see how much all that work they've put in over the course of the year.
Love it.
They get to reap the benefits of hard work, but
look, you're that excited, Richard. Look.
And this is what the parents sacrifice for, like all the traveling, all the expenditure, constantly reminding them, they're great and keep working hard, blah, blah, blah. And that's where you get to see the results. So well done to the parents as well for the support, because you are the 8th player on the court. without that
Yeah.
support network, would they do as well?
I don't
Probably.
think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think the teams that always win are the teams with the most support. I've never seen a team in all my life when I've put on my competitions who have turned up, won, and had no support. It goes hand in hand because kids feel like they're being backed. It's a bit like when you're at school and you get into a fight and you know your mates are going to jump in for you. You feel a little bit stronger, do you know?
They hang around groups.
So, yeah, support is a big thing, and we had a great support on Saturday for both competitions. So, thank you to everyone who turned up and supported the competition. But yeah, well done to Odom. They still carry on the curse in the under-12s competition, where the winning team in the under-12s, no winning team from the league has won the grand finals, and Odom have carried that curse on because they come second in the North and they went and won the grand finals.
And they stopped Kingsway from getting their triple.
Well, no, they know Kingsway won the triple in terms of league,
but not with the championships.
No, they didn't. And
I mean, on the first hurdle, boom.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Odom. I had it already written out, like for that last one. The under 14s. Here we go. Can they do it? All right, just rip that up, throw that out. But no, they played very well. So yeah, then again, all teams did. To be honest, I found it really hard with the camera work, trying to guess where they were going to throw the ball. There was a lot of back plays as well. There was loads. Again, I don't get to sit back and chill and do nothing. I'm chasing that ball around that court with all those cameras and the lovely tech bits, but it's great to see, amazing to see, and you got to pride yourself as well there, Rich, for putting something on like that as well. It's
well, I've got to say, Martin, like from last season, I was a bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say, but not many people really engaged in the live stream in terms of analysing performance to kind of come to the competition as prepared as possible. But Saturday, I walked away from that competition and I thought to myself, everyone seemed prepared. Like teams were playing teams they've never played before, but looked like they knew how to play against them.
Okay.
So for me, I think a lot of the coaches have been doing that. A lot of the coaches I spoke to said they've been on the live stream, they've been doing their homework. So right. I think we've got the under 14s this week, and I've spoke to someone already, and they said, "Oh, thank you very much," because everyone knows how we play now, and it's like that is exactly what we want. Yeah, you're gonna have to come up with a new recipe, unfortunately.
Yeah. You've got to mix it up. We can't just have the winning formula. That's just a bit unfair, isn't it, Rich?
No, of course it is. But I'm going to do a quick evaluation on each team in the under 12s.
While I quickly let this cat out. Sorry, go on.
Give some feedback on what I think they could do better or what they did well. But let's start with the champions, Odom. Not much to say, is there? If you got a team that's won it, but
yeah.
The only thing I could potentially say is kind of more consistency in their passing and getting the ball down the court and executing. I think if they were to improve that part of their game, they will be unstoppable because they've got the durability, they've got the mental toughness, they know how to scrap. Defensively, I think they're sound. It's just sometimes when they're moving the ball down the court to get into goal, sometimes it doesn't come to fruition as consistently as they probably would like. So if they can improve that part of their game and build that consistency, and that's the whole team, by the way. That's not just the attacking players. That's from defense to attack. Just moving that ball across the court more consistently. Well, then they're probably going to not want to win the league next season because they don't want to be cursed. But that's for me. That's how they can improve their game. Number 2, Kingsville Power. I just think Kingsville Power. I think in terms of ability, there's not a lot you can say. That they're a super talented group of girls. I think temperament for me was always going to be the issue. I spoke about it prior to the previous game with Odom. I think their temperament might be their undoing. I said to them in the interview, how did you manage to be so calm and collected when they played Odom in the league? Because sometimes when they do play, they kind of lose their heads a bit, which causes them to make mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And I think in that game, they showed that weakness they have when it comes to their temperament. They just, they allowed the game to get on top of them mentally. And that caused them to kind of start making errors that they wouldn't normally make. There's a point in the second quarter where I was thinking, wow, is this the same team I've been watching all season? But then again, you have to remember it's such a high intense environment. And this is why we're putting these kids in this environment, is to get them to learn how to cope in this environment as early as possible. But for me, again, I'm nitpicking, but for me, Kingsville Power, if I was to improve one thing, it'd just be temperament and not getting too emotionally attached to the game, which could cause you to make silly mistakes. So there you go. Number 3, Leeds Athletic. Simple, really. Just be more ruthless. Be more ready for the challenge. Talent-wise, again, superb team. They've got all the ingredients to go on and win these competitions. It's just making sure when they play against the top teams, they're ready for the fight, they're ready for the challenge, and they don't allow teams to kind of bully them early doors. They've got to be the bullies, and they've got to be the ones to dominate teams early doors. Because if they can put that into their game when it comes to playing teams like Odom and Kingsville Power, and they'll be one of the top tips next season to win the whole entire thing. So Leeds, that's my advice to you. Number 4, Stars. Again, they've improved massively throughout the season. I just think as a team, they've now got the experience of playing at a national level.
Yep.
I think they're going to have to improve every aspect of their game: defense, attack, mid-court. But yeah, it's all about now how much they can improve in every area to catch up with Kingsville Power and catch up with Odom and catch up with Leeds. Because you got to ask yourself, what is my room for error?
Yeah. None.
Well,
championship
Stars,
level.
you're right. Stars' room for error is not particularly that great. So they have to raise their ability levels throughout the court. And they will do that now because they know what they've got to get. They know where they've got to go. You can't raise your standard if you don't know what the standard is.
Yeah.
They now know what the standard is, so they have a kind of a ceiling they can reach to to improve their game. So I think Stars they need to kind of compete with the Kingsville Powers and Odoms and Leeds. They have to improve throughout the whole court. Maybe toughen up a bit as well. I was having a chat with one of their coaches in regards to kind of just maybe understanding the physical nature of the game more, embracing that physical nature, because sometimes the umpires are all different. They can't bail you out every 2 seconds. If the game is physical and you're looking to the umpire for help, that help might not come. So you're going to have to learn how to cope in all different types of environments and toughen up. And if it is physical, be physical back and try
not to get caught.
Try not to get caught. But Stars, that's my advice to Stars. Next up, Wire. Wire, for me, it's a mentality thing. I think talent-wise, fantastic team. They've got a fantastic coaching set up. They've got a fantastic coacher within their club. For me, it's a mentality thing. Again, same sort of thing with Leeds. They're going to have to turn into the school bullies, if that makes sense. They have to kind of be a bit more ruthless. And when they play teams, they got to learn how to kill games off. just kill games off quicker. And if they do find themselves 6 points up or whatever, then that's an opportunity to go 12 points up or 18 points up or whatever.
It's not time to come off the accelerator, is it?
No, it's and intensity is learning how to be intense throughout every single quarter. So for me, Wire, if they can build in a mentality where they dominate teams and kind of relish in just killing games off, which they should have done 6 points up against Stars. And if you look at the atmosphere and you looked at the amount of pressure on Stars to get back in that game, they should have killed that game off. It should have been done in relatively in ruthless fashion, but they just didn't seem to be able to kill the game off, which is to their detriment in a way. And if they can learn how to kill games off like that, then again they'll be coming in the top 4. They won't be coming in the 5th to 8th. They'll be coming into the top 4. So that's my advice to Wire. Next up, Turnford. Best performance I've seen him against Leeds. So well done. They're making that progress forward. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, I think again, more ruthless. Maybe bringing out character in some of the players to kind of to dominate games through their presence. So having a good leader within the team who can kind of keep driving them forward. But yeah, for me, they know the standard of play, and like Stars, they've got a platform now to look to kind of aim towards, and they've got to work on every aspect of their game to reach that standard. And if they can do that, then we'll see a much improved Turnford team next season. But they're good. Again, all these teams are great teams. I'm just nitpicking, but
definitely.
It's just again being more just practice doing the basics more often than not. Keeping that intensity going throughout the whole entire game. That's a skill in itself, to keep intensity going every single quarter and not kind of waning. But yeah, that's my take there on Turnford. Eagles, who come 7th, just keep doing what they're doing. Really, they're working hard to improve. Coming 7th was a massive result for them. Work on the basics and master the basics, and they just keep improving. And that's what when you're one of those teams on the edge of getting into, they say, the top 3 or whatever. You just got to try and master the basics, and that's making sure you hold on to the ball.
Pass it well.
When you get the opportunity, when you get the turnovers, maximize the turnovers. Making sure you're constantly moving and being creative within your movement to receive the ball. And most importantly, being competitive and having that will to win. So, Sutton Town as well. Just keep working on the basics. Keep mastering the little fine details that make up big details. And what you'll see is a more consistent performance. And consistency is key, because then consistency breeds victories, and victories breed a champion mindset, and a champion mindset wins national competitions. So there you go. So Eagles and Sutton Town, same advice. Keep working on the basics. Want to master the boring stuff, and if you repetitively do those things, then you'll see massive improvements in your match play. Then once you've done that, throw in the competition, throw in that competitive spirit, and you'll be a force to be reckoned with. But all the teams here today, on Saturday, massive well done. 8 fantastic teams. They officially are the 8 best teams in the country. So well done to every single team who competed on Saturday.
Yeah, well done for them all.
It was a good game.
Very well worth to watch, I would say.
It was very much indeed.
But
in the afternoon,
from when they won, Oldham were ecstatic.
They were.
Brilliant. Love it.
Okay, 13s.
All right, go ahead. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Oh.
So this is a good few games to kick us off. So Eagles versus Oaksway. So it's first from the south versus fourth from the north. Oaksway pushed Eagles. The score doesn't really reflect what really happened. Eagles were under a lot of pressure. They were down in the first quarter. They managed to turn it around in the second. Oaksway come back within the third. But the attacking duo of Jasmine and Freya was just a little bit too much to handle for Oaksway. And Eagles got the win. But this is one of those games where I thought fair play to the fourth place team in the league, because they're playing against the champions of the other league. And the mentality was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So well done to Oaksway. That was it was a great performance, and it shows Oaksway where they're at. And trust me, they are not a million miles away from where they need to be. The margin is so small. I don't think a lot of teams realise how small the margins are. So well done to Oaksway in that one. Chester against AP Saints, bit of a one-sided game. Chester won this quite convincingly. AP Saints don't kind of have the aura they had last season. They would be they had players missing as well. They would be disappointed with that result, because the AP Saints on potentially last season could have got a result there, but they seem to be going through the motions a little bit in that game, and could have done better, should have done better, and kind of gift wrapped that win to Chester. So well done, Chester. They got the win there. Now, this was an interesting game next. Kingsville Power 29 against Rylands 23. Not going to lie to you, I thought Rylands were in a heap of trouble in this game. But Rylands showed, a bit like Oaksway, that there's not a million miles between the top teams and the so-called good teams. Ryland were within 2 points of Kingsville Power up until a late stage of the game, and caused Kingsville Power a lot of problems. Like, Kingsville Power are putting off players left, right, and centre to try and find some type of but less turbulence. Basically, they were
formidable force,
up and down, up and down. But that's
an interesting one, though, if you bring that out. Actually, that if Kingsway are changing their players, that's quite a good tactic. They're actually using, obviously, the subs very well, the rolling subs, to to fine tune your team. It's like, well, that's not working. Let's change this quick.
Well, some people could turn around and say, well, that's not fair, because the best teams then get the opportunity to change it. But then you can say the same thing about teams who are
hang on, everybody gets to do rolling subs. What's the It's not just Kingsway Power.
But people could argue, right, we were doing well against Kingsway Power, but because they're able to change their players constantly, that allowed them to get back into the game. But then the same can be said for if you're down against Kingsville Power, you have the ability to change it constantly.
Well, the whole idea is you change those players, and if they change it and they start to make some distance against you, then you change yours to bring it back and obviously keep winning. Because if you've got the winning formula, then they're going to have to change their formula, because you've broke their formula. Get that? Was that a bit of a tongue twister? Anybody out there, put it in the comments. Don't forget, if you want to jump on, let us know as well. But to me, I love the rolling subs.
Yeah.
And again, fair dues to you picking that up, that they were changing it around and fine tuning their formula to make them win. And they were up against Ryland. So not more can be said, except for, why is Kingsway Power doing that? Well, if they've got that mentality where they're not scared to change their team around, there you go, people. If you want to know a little chink in their armor, that's not really a chink in their armor. What strengthens their armor? Like, what did you have to do with conkers? What was it? You dipped them in something. Was it vinegar?
I don't know. I
You used
wasn't
to
really
play
a Conker
Conkers.
fan.
Well, you got a big conker, mate. So, let us know in the comments, people. How do you strengthen your conker? But that's what people were doing. You didn't know until you found out that people were doing that. It was like, oh, that's what then you'd do it, because it's just improving the formula, isn't it? Making it win.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, I guess what I'm saying, like, coaches you don't realize how important coaches are.
Yeah.
In these events, like, they don't
What
forget.
about cars?
Yeah. Well, they're the ones making the decisions. They're the ones potentially changing the game with good or bad decisions. And Kingsville Power are not afraid to make the changes. They're not, some coaches might be like, oh, she maybe hasn't had enough time on. No, it's all business. It's like, right, it's not working. Out you come.
Yeah.
And all the kids understand they're there. Then they're not for themselves, but for the greater good.
Exactly. You're playing for the team.
Yeah, you're playing
Not
for the team.
playing for the team.
Playing for the team means if you got to come off after 30 seconds, you come off and you do your bit for the team.
You don't cry about it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing, isn't it? Don't moan about it. I've seen it on previous games from elsewhere, but people moaning about being taken off, and it's like, no, it's for the good of the team. Listen to your coach. If you're not winning, or even if you are winning, or winning by a small margin, they know that they want to move it a little bit forward. Make it more concrete, so to speak, whether it's defense, attack, whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And after that, Cross Keys against Odom. I was a bit disappointed in this one. I thought Cross Keys would put up a better performance, but I think maybe the environment. They come into this Cross Keys wanting to access this type of match play, and they probably would walk away from that game thinking, we probably didn't do as good as we should have done. But fair play to Odom. That was a tricky game on paper, a very tricky game, but they managed to kind of control their environment a lot better. Whereas Cross Keys, maybe that environment was alien to them, and they just took them a bit of time to get used to it. But well done, Odom, that set up a really good semi-final, which we'll talk about in a minute. So 5th to 8th playoff, Oaksway against AP Saints. AP Saints, much improved performance in this one. They did start well, but Oaksway are a great team, and Oaksway got the win 33-22. Then Cross Keys also bounced back from their defeat to Odom, 23-14 to Ryland. Ryland will probably be a little bit disappointed with that performance after putting in such a great performance against Kingsville Power. I was actually having a laugh with the girls from Ryland. I was saying, look, don't be performing like that and go and get beaten next game. And that's exactly
what that all about. Well, that one out. How does that happen?
but that's Ryland all over. Like, 1 minute they look like world beaters, and the next minute their performance levels drop. Now, I didn't watch that game in particular, but based on their first performance, which I watched a lot of the game, that should have been a lot closer because their first performance was incredible. So, Ryland, learn how to stay on top. Keep it going. At the semi-finals, I'll tell you what, this was now in the under 12s competition. I talked to you about ruthlessness. Now, this is what Eagles did to Chester. It was 10-0 in the first quarter.
Wow.
It was like
10-0. Good memory. Good memory, mate.
Eagles weren't messing around. And they literally shocked the hell out of Chester. Now, Chester had one of their shooters injured, which was a nightmare. So I think that didn't help. When you know one of your best shooters is not available because they're injured. I know what it's like when I was playing football. Your best player gets injured. You feel a bit.
We've got to send Richard in. That's what they were thinking. God.
I know. Got to send him in. Do left feet.
Things have just got bad. They just got worse.
I'll tell you a quick story, actually.
Oh, no.
I was playing Plymouth in a reserve team game.
Yeah.
I was sub, and the score was it was 5-0 to Plymouth after 35 minutes.
Wow.
And the coach turns around and says, Richard, come over here, mate. And I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Like, and he goes, get your kit off, you're coming on. And I'm thinking, you're not bringing me on because I'm going to change anything. You're bringing me on because you know the game's been won and you might as well give this guy a game. I didn't know how to feel, Martin. Imagine being called onto the pitch when you're 5-0 down.
I don't want to lose my good players. Let's just send in the cannon fodder.
I was thinking,
you never told me that one before.
Because I was a right back, so I'm not obviously going on to change the game, am I? So yeah, but Eagles, they were ruthless in their approach to that game, and
I was surprised with Chester.
Me too.
I thought a lot more would happen with them. To be fair, they've showed so much amazing play and stuff, and I was a bit disappointed in that score. To be fair, so
no, I was as well. I thought that I think losing their player to an injury, one of their best players to an injury, just didn't help them at all mentally. But I thought from playing Eagles last season, they'd be much more prepared for what was coming.
All I've got to say is I'm glad Ladbrokes wasn't involved in your tournaments because I would have lost a fair amount of money.
Yeah, I predicted a Chester in the Kingsville Power final, didn't I?
Didn't I say that as well?
Yeah, you said that as well.
Yeah.
So, but Eagles, massive win. So well done to them.
Yeah, well done to Eagles.
This was an interesting game. So Kingsville Power versus Odom. Odom were flying out the traps. They found themselves 6-7 points ahead with about 4 minutes to go of the second quarter. Now I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wow. I've got one of the coaches to my left looking at me. I have to say, what's going on here? Because it looked like it was going to be an absolute onslaught for Odom. They were absolutely on fire. Like Kingsville Power couldn't get near them. And I thought, oh my word, this is going to get nasty in a minute. But then something happened and Kingsville Power got a turnover. They scored. Then they scored again. Then I remember turning around to one of the coaches, I think it was a Kingsville Power coach, and saying, oh no.
Oh no.
if Odom allow Kingsville Power to build, because at that point, Kingsville Power's confidence was on the floor. They looked beaten. It looked dead.
This is the thing about keep on pushing, isn't it? Doesn't, if they're looking defeated, you're 3/4 of the way there. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, precisely. But they allowed Kingsville Power to build their confidence. Then as the second quarter ended, it was 11-9 to Odom. So Odom still had the 2-point cushion, but when they were 6-7 points up, that was a particularly great place to be. If they'd have gone in at half time, 6-7 or maybe more points up, it could have been bye-bye to Kingsville Power. But Kingsville Power in the third and fourth quarter then got back into their flow and they managed to get the win. But for Odom, I can imagine they'll look back at that as a massively missed opportunity because they had him exactly where they wanted him. I remember looking at some of the Kingsville Power players and thinking they've lost the plot in terms of their mentality was going. They were getting more frustrated. They were making mistakes that I've never seen them make. And I thought, wow, this is going to be a convincing win for Odom. But then there was a little thing that happened, like maybe it was an Odom pass that got intercepted, and once Kingsville Power hit that, it was like because there was a point they could have gone, I think, 8 points up, and once Kingsville Power hit that turnover, you could see their confidence starting to bubble up, and I'm like, oh, dangerous! Don't be doing that. Don't be giving the lion any reason to wake up.
Here comes the boost.
And they did. And Kingsville Power, once they found their confidence again, they went on and got a convincing win. But well done to Odom, though, because initially they had them on the ropes. They just didn't knock them out. And they didn't keep they didn't keep that momentum going when they had them exactly where they wanted them. So frustrating for Odom, but for Kingsville Power, a massive well done for having that kind of mental resolve to bounce back and to get the win. And yeah, so moving on to 7th to 8th, Ryland versus AP Saints. Again, AP Saints improved their performance, but another defeat to Ryland. I think it's 3-1 now with these two teams playing each other in our leagues and stuff. So 35-23, well done, Ryland. They improved their position from last season from 8th to 7th. So any type of progress is winning in my mind. So well done to Ryland. Then Oaksway and Cross Keys, good game between two talented teams. Oaksway got the win and they got 5th and Cross Keys got 6th. But I think Cross Keys will be happy with a 6th place finish because this is what they're here for. They're here to access these nationally ranked teams. So hopefully they got a good learning opportunity out of that.
I think they did.
3rd and 4th playoff, I believe it started relatively even. But Odom obviously grounded out. It was kind of they grinded out the win in this one. It wasn't a high scoring game. It looks like defensively they done very, very well in that one, but it was drawing after the first quarter. But Odom kind of put to bed the ghost of Chester beating them in the league by 5 points and got the 3rd place finish. So well done to Odom in that one. And in the final, an epic final. Martin, get your live stream on. Let's roll back the final minute of the final.
The final minute. Oh. Please work. I've still got to sort these out. Go on, keep talking and I'll just drag it up. S1.
So I was just looking at something myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, the final of this was.
I think I left that. I was going to say I thought I left it up there because it was such a. Sometimes I don't move the finals out. So because I'm like that's what everybody wants to see mostly. There we go. I just turn the sound down a bit. Right. What do you want? What do you want, sir?
Just do the final minute of the fourth quarter.
Now we've got the medals on here as well, haven't we? So. Right. Oh. On 18 seconds, is it? It's done. I'm doing my normal again, buddy. Sorry. 7. Go on, keep talking.
Oh yeah. So this final was, we've done plenty of competitions and we had some fantastic finals, but this is right up there with one of the best we've ever had. 2 teams with amazing skill levels going head to head in a fantastic game of netball. And it ended with a point difference. And that's how close it was.
30 all with a minute to go.
So let's play it from now. And let's just do a little. I remember watching every single bit of this. So in the 4th quarter, Eagles had an opportunity to kind of go 3 points ahead. And they then, if they would have scored, it would have been their centre pass, meaning it could have been 4 points. And that was kind of midway through the 4th quarter. And that could have potentially, that moment could have won them the game. But they misplaced the pass, allowed Kingsville Power to come back into it. And now what we're seeing is goal for goal. So it's just bang, 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 bang. And as you can see, it's 31 all. How long's left on that clock, Martin?
20 seconds.
20
you
seconds.
Have 20 seconds.
At this point, they should be saying, foul them, kick the ball away. And bang, there you go. So they've scored and they've given Eagles literally no chance whatsoever to score. Your time and my time is obviously a little bit out of sync. So they still got a little bit of time.
Yeah, remember my score, my timer is just for show, everybody. Richard controls the time.
Yeah, so Jasmine probably, if she'd have scored that, wouldn't have counted anyway. But there you go. Eagles got the win. They held their nerve. And let me tell you something now. when we talk about the coaches being pivotal, this was one of those moments because Lauren, in the final quarter, they've got a goal attack or goal shooter, Kingsville Power, who's relatively tall. She's a focal point for the team, and she put her into the defence to stop Jasmine.
Okay.
So Jasmine, who's the Eagles goal shooter, she is super tall as well, and she was dominating. And that decision gave Eagles something to think about.
Okay.
Because before that, it was just bang, bang, throw it in the air. Jasmine catches the ball, she throws it in. But now she's got someone who's the same height as her.
So who are we talking about? Show me where on the screen here.
The two girls at the back.
Oh, right. What, back here? Yeah.
Yeah, those two there. That's it. So Jasmine now isn't going to get their ball as easy because I forgot the other girl's name. Because she is relatively the same height and can intercept it.
Right.
And that's what caused the Eagles a few problems. Because if they wouldn't have done that, I think Eagles would have won that game. But it could have been detrimental because Kingsville Power's attackers, they're not as tall as the young girl who went at the back. So that could have caused them problems at the other end.
Yeah, yep.
But the shooters were incredible for Kingsville Power. They stepped up to the plate. The shooter who went back into defence stepped up to the plate, and it all worked. But then another pivotal thing that happened was with about 2 minutes to go, Eagles, for me, is one of the best players. Well, she was the best player at the tournament. She come off injured. So at the very, very end, the ether started working against them, and but I think the decision to put the attacker to the defense was brave. It could have backfired, but luck favors the brave, and it paid off big time, and that's why Kingsville Power got the win. So massive well done there to the coach and staff. So there you go.
Do you know, I'm dumbstruck with it all. Just it was such again, like it takes a lot live streaming, and when you've got a game like this and a tournament like this, it does zap a power because it's it gets you going, doesn't it? It gets your heart rate going, it gets everything going, and like I'm saying, for a coach to make that decision in the last second, make those changes, let's do it, and then win from it.
No, it's brilliant.
There's nothing else to say. It's just.
I remember thinking.
Well done.
Well, I turned around to the Kingsville Power under-12s coach who was sitting with me, and I said to her, "Oh my word!" I said, "That is as brave can come." I said that could go two ways. That could backfire, or that could be pivotal, and it ended up being like Jasmine was still having success, but there was a couple of passes that went astray because now the players feeding the ball into her are not as confident she's going to get it because she's with someone the same height. So you're putting a bit of self-doubt into their head. See, it's a game of psychology, you see.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
People doubt themselves.
So that's what used to happen on the, when I used to play football. They'd pass to me. Oh, he'll fumble it or something. It's not, might as well just kick it and kick it down the end and be better off than passing it to mine. But you're right. If you're used to a player always catching that ball and going for the shot and scoring to somebody who's not as probably confident or as well versed in, it puts doubts. I never thought of it, in one respect, but it's.
Well, I just think the players feeding the ball to Jasmine all of a sudden was shocked because throughout the first 3 quarters, they're in this robotic kind of AI synchronized. Get the ball, throw it, and they knew the person she was up against wasn't that. So all they had to do is lob the ball up nice and high, easy catch, job done. But all of a sudden, you're in the 4th quarter, you're looking up, and the pitch has changed.
You see, but this is what happened to Chester after they lost to Kingsway by a point in the league, and I said this. The other team, I can't remember the other team were, but they put a taller person in obviously attacking a shooter. So they were always getting the ball, and you know, again, Chester were knackered from playing Kingsway because it was a really good game. But you know, it's one of those things where if height does come into it.
Yeah,
you know, so you do need to change people around, and that's what the rolling subs are about. And like you say, she made that decision. She swapped them around. Happy days. But like you say, it can also go wrong. We've got Kerry in the back room, by the way. So just so you know,
is it just one person in the background at the moment?
One at the moment, yes.
Right. Well, we cap this off and we go to our under 14s quiz. But it again, every team did themselves proud in this competition. It was a great ending to a fantastic kind of build up, and all I can say is thank you to everyone who supported the league. And let's do a quick little summary of what I think. I'm going to go for this super quick. So, Kingsway Power.
Richard, you don't know super quick.
I'll try. Kingsville Power, what do I think they can improve on? Oh, it's a tough one. To be honest, this is in terms of their match play, this is the weakest I've seen them. And I'm not saying they performed below standard. I think they're at the top of them. Their standards are so high, is that people will try and drag them down. It's sometimes easier to drag a team down than it is to kind of stay on top of the mountain. And I think the 3 games they played in this competition showed that teams are catching up. They're probably not as, and I mean this in the best possible terms, they're not as good as they think they are, and they still got a lot of work to do to make sure, you know, it's more of a guarantee that they'll win this event next time. I obviously don't want that. I want it to be, but for me, it's kind of they must reflect and think, hold on a minute, the scores, we got pushed 3 times in all 3 games. We look vulnerable, and they got to reflect on, is that because we're not as good as we think we are, or is that because, you know, we've got nothing to we are at the top of the mountain and we've got nothing to kind of push towards, meaning that you know, our standards drop because other teams know where they need to reach to kind of pull us off the top. But just my advice is just be careful, because
don't get too comfy.
Don't get too comfy. Yeah, that's my advice. Just don't get too comfy. Eagles, again, I don't know what I think.
Wow, I've never seen this before. You, Richard?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think again, it's the same thing can apply. Don't get too comfy. The only flaw in their system was they didn't maximize Kingsway Power's mistakes. I think Eagles, the game was there to be won for Eagles.
Yeah.
But in that 4th quarter, when they had them on the ropes, the game should have been killed. It should have been killed, and they allowed Kingsway Power to come back into that game when there was a point where Eagles should have went on and kind of won that by 2 or 3 points. So, yeah, again, don't get too comfortable. Kill games off when you have the opportunity to. Odom, just more consistency throughout the whole 40 minutes. Like we saw against Kingsway Power, they absolutely bashed them up for the first quarter and a half, but then that intensity disappeared. So it's just making sure they're not making as many mistakes and they keep that intensity up throughout every single quarter. So that's my advice to Odom. Chester, it's a funny one, Chester, because I've been a massive fan of Chester this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Can I jump in with something here?
Yeah, go on.
Chester, take it from me. I've been very impressed with the way that you've played and the way that you've done your research. Don't take this hit, I would say, because you know you could have done better. but reflect and keep it going. Just keep believing in yourself, and that's what I think they need to. They lost something that I personally think. So in themselves. So believe in yourself is what I'd say to Chester.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think you're right. I think for Chester, it's probably sometimes they're too quick to get down. Be more durable. So don't allow things out of your control to affect the way you play. I think with their attacker getting injured, for some reason that killed their confidence a little bit.
Never rely on one person. Never rely on one person.
They allowed it to kind of affect the way they play. So don't be too quick to allow, again, certain things to bring you down emotionally, which affects your match play. Oaksway, great performance in this competition. Again, just make sure next season you rise to the challenge when you come up against the Odoms, when you come against the Chesters, the Kingsville Powers. You have the ability. You just have to rise to the challenge. You have to learn how to intensify your performances and put teams on the back foot. So they're kind of chasing you and you're not chasing them, type of thing. Cross Keys, not really. I think next season will be a big season for them because they've got the experience now, and it's what they do with that experience will decide how they progress for next season. So I'm going to refrain from giving any advice to Cross Keys because for them, this was a way of accessing the best teams in the country. They've now accessed them. So next season,
bring it on.
We will get to see, again, if I was to base it on the performance in the competition, just be more ready. That performance against Odom wasn't what you were capable of. It was less than what you're capable of. So just be more ready for the challenge. Don't allow the environment to get on top of you. And just more professionalism in terms of coping with the environment and playing to the way you can play. Ryland, again, a team that I called a yo-yo team. Their performance against Kingsville Power would potentially win them the South League next season. But it's whether or not they can replicate it as often as possible. Ryland need to learn how to keep a high level performance consistently. When they do that, they're going to be world beaters. It's just they go from one performance, a bit like my football career. You go up to come crashing back down again, up. Well, a bit like my bank balance as well. It goes up.
That's got more bounces than Wimbledon, mate.
Yeah. I think it has actually. So they need to I actually said that to the Ryland girls. I said, girls, I'm going to start calling my bank account Ryland.
What do they say?
We're just having a laugh, right? Because they're quite a funny bunch of girls, to be fair. Good personalities. I said, because 1 minute I'm up, next minute I'm down. And that's a bit like you and your performances. Like 1 minute I'm looking at you and you're amazing. And I'm thinking, wow, what a fantastic team. Then the next minute you're like, where did they go?
It just disappeared. Were they there? Did I see them? Would they be?
So Ryland, if they need to be more consistent within their performance. And lastly, AP Saints. All I ask for AP Saints is to get your mojo back, to start believing again, start being hungry again, start being competitive again. Because for some reason, building up to this, they just didn't seem to have the same aura they had last season. And they need to find their mojo. They need to get back to what worked and just start supporting each other more. They all seem to be pulling in different directions as a team. Get back to the common theme when you play in sport, and that's making sure you maximize the opportunities as a group. You worked hard as a group, you compete as a group, and then we'll see them go back to winning ways. But probably a disappointing end to the season for AP Saints, but still they have the talent and they have the coaching network to get back where they believe they belong. But that's it, Martin. We're now going to move on to the quiz.
Before we move on to the quiz, big shout out because I got my very first selfie the other day with I think it was Paolo. I think it was Alice's dad. So big shout out to the Paolo family. There you go. Woo!
Mate, you're famous.
Well, mate, not as famous as you. Jealous. Right.
Well, I definitely don't feel famous.
No. Would you like me to bring the girls on?
Bring them in. The gutsy girls.
Okay. Have they paid their £50 to come on?
They better have done.
Have you paid your £50?
Yay! Here we go.
Silenced yourself. You silenced yourself. There you go. Unsilence yourself.
Who, me?
No, them. Not always talking to you, Richard.
Good evening, girls.
Hi. Hi.
This is the bit you talk back.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do now, I can't believe you're the only team wanting to come into this. Can you give maybe an insight into why girls of 14 years old wouldn't want to take part in an ENG quiz?
I think they're just scared that we're gonna smash them and we're just gonna win and lose.
Challenge accepted, people. Come on, join us. Should I put a link out there?
Well, you know you're competing against each other now, don't you? Yeah. So you're all individually gonna have a pen and paper.
And no copying. I want to see hiding it.
Get good now.
Be ready, because no one wants to compete with you, so you're gonna have to compete against each other. And the winning person, I'll get you some ENG kit as well.
You're kidding. Oh my god. Okay. Game on, guys.
So be ready. But how are you feeling heading into Sunday's competition?
Excited. Yeah, really. So excited.
Can you beat Poole Netball Club?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, no waiting around there.
And please tell me you've been analysing their performances.
We have. I have.
And have you got? Have you got tactics to try and stop how they play?
I think especially in training, we've been doing a lot of defense orientated drills. Because that's normally a side of our play that we don't normally focus on, I would say. We sort of are more of an attacking club generally. But we've tried to even out all of our play so that we're strong on sort of all levels. So we've got all bases covered. And I'd say we're feeling very confident going in.
Well, to be fair, in terms of physical height and build, you're relatively the same. You're in terms of height and stuff, you're all the same. They've got one player who's probably a lot taller than the rest of you.
Yeah, she's about 6'7", isn't she?
Yeah, about that.
Face is what? No.
But they've got one player who's a little bit taller than the rest of you. But apart from that, you're all relatively the same height. So I don't think physically you're going to feel out of your depth at all. It's just for me whether you can stop them playing their game and stop their fluency, because as we saw in the under-12s competition, Odom managed to stop Kingsville Power playing the way they wanted to play.
Oh.
So I think if you can disrupt their play, you've got a chance, girls. But you've got to do it. I haven't. Okay, so have you all got a pen and paper?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you 10 questions. No cheating, no looking at each other's. Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you 10 questions. The person who gets the 10 questions right, well, not all right, but the most right, that's quite hard, isn't it? Is going to be the champion. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That sounded so confident. That really did. Yeah, right, okay.
Okay, so first question. I'll keep it easy to start off with. Who won the under-14s Northern Conference this season? Write it down.
No.
You don't know.
I'm gonna guess, guys.
Well, we know it's not Chester.
Come on, you got to know that. You got to know that.
So, is it? I hope you're not looking at her one, Keris.
Carrots. It's like a coffee.
Okay, you've all answered that question, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who won the under-14s Southern Conference this season?
Oh, I know this
Same.
one.
And no getting texts from your mates, by the way. I could hear it buzzing. Yeah. Is this? Is it? Now hear it, Rich. Or was that you?
Yeah, they're buzzing in, yeah. No cheating. Put your phones away, cheats.
They don't do that because that's how they're talking to us on their phone, correct?
Oh, yeah, true.
Wake up. Coffee time. All right, go on. Question.
Okay, next question. Who were the highest goal scorers from the North and South this season? So which team from the Northern and Southern Conference under 14s was the biggest scorers?
Oh, this is gonna be a guess, guys.
Same.
Are you conferring? It
No.
sounds like it.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, that's what you always say, don't you, Richard? Teamwork makes the dream work.
I don't think I say that actually. I don't know. I put it in a more raw sense. Teamwork makes the dream work. Whee! Right, question number 4. I'm just got. I'm just gonna have a quick check on my data.
Ooh,
I sound like a NASA.
data.
No, I say data, mate.
No, not
I
no. It's
sound
data.
more intelligent when I say data.
I think keeps on saying Z. I'm like, it's Z.
Right, who out of the teams that have qualified for the grand finals?
Which are
Who has scored the least amount of goals?
Wait, who's qualified?
See?
Wait,
Didn't
out
do
of
you-
what?
I tried to catch him out there for you, but he wouldn't give in. Just
North and South.
North and South.
out of the teams that have qualified for the grand finals on Sunday, who has scored the least amount of goals going into the competition?
And people at home, come on, put it in the comments if you think you know the answers.
Yeah, please tell us.
You shouldn't be looking at the answers.
Be generous.
Be generous. There you go. See if you can help out the Chester girls. There you go.
I don't think we're going to have the good scores like we did the other day. Do you, Martin?
No, mate, definitely not. I don't know. They're conferring quite well. Yeah. That's what you should have done. Done it as a collective. Then it'd take us about an hour to go through the quiz.
She's cheating.
To be honest, I all think you've got the wrong answer, so you can look if you want.
I think I got right.
Okay, next question. Now you get a point per right answer. Name the 8 teams in Sunday's grand finals.
Oh, God.
So we've got 8 teams competing on Sunday. Can you name how many? Can you name? You get 1 point per team.
Nice. I would be concerned if you didn't. I remember that Grange Town are in it, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
Shush! This is for.
Imagine you've been a teacher. Shush.
This is for an ENG Nike training top.
Oh,
This is serious stuff.
I'm not telling you that.
Serious stuff.
She thinks so.
Can you imagine like going to your party with an ENG Nike training top on?
Got the bling.
When they've got their end of season awards, they get to wear an ENG Nike training top. Life doesn't get any better, does it? Or they can have an FBL polo top.
Oh, you're taking a mick now, boy. Ah, picking on my polo top, are we? Right. That's the way we're going to do it. Right, I got it. Right, okay. I'm just trying to think of a comeback to that, but I can't just yet. I think, look, these are printed personally. Look, I print these personally myself. A lot of work goes into these.
Girls, are you done?
Yeah.
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 Is my polo top that bad, girls?
I don't know.
I don't even listen. That's fine. Let's know in the comments.
Right. Girls, you ready for question 6?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, question 6 is which teams are unbeaten coming into this
Is there more
grand
than one?
finals on Sunday? Which teams who are coming into this grand finals haven't been beaten this season?
How many are
I'm not telling you.
Wait, from
there?
like
Is there more than
both?
one? Is there more than one?
Oh, wait.
I think there's 3.
Oh, got it.
So that's
No.
one now.
Maybe it's 4. Try and get the telephone.
Right, so there's 2 teams. There's 2 teams coming in unbeaten.
I'm sure it's 3.
Yeah.
Who's in the room with you?
What?
Who's in the room with you?
No one.
Everyone. Oh, well, come on in. Or join in on the chat. There we go. Put it in the comments. Are they giving you the answers?
No.
No, that means yes, Richard. No, it means yes.
We've been using our own.
Sir.
Okay, are you done with that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 8.
Which team coming into this competition won the grand finals last season?
Go on.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh, I think I know.
I think I know that.
Oh, don't tell her, Mom.
See, I knew it. They're telling.
Mom, I hate you.
Actually.
Right, are you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we've never done under 14s league, so I haven't got many historical questions. So I'm gonna give multiple choice out ones now. Okay. Ellesmere Port.
Yeah.
Have they scored? I'm going to give you 3 options. Have they scored 321 goals this season, 322, or 323?
What were those options again?
How many goals this season has Ellesmere Port scored? Is it 321, 322, or 323? Are you sorted?
Yeah.
We should have done parents against kids. That'd have been better.
Okay. How many goals have Eagles Netball Club scored coming in to this grand
Ooh.
finals? Is it 350, 351, or 352?
Oh God.
That wasn't one of the options.
I'm gonna go with
Wait, say the answers again.
350.
Yeah.
3 something something.
51, 352.
Well,
so have
done,
Eagles scored 350, 351, or 352?
That is a lot.
I think you are not far away from that. You scored 130 or 330 odd.
That's all right then.
That's good.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2,
That's
3,
9 questions.
9. I've got one last question for you. Just trying to think of the best one possible.
Just say who is the best team.
Chester!
Well, let's give you a Chester theme question then.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold on. Chester. Okay. Chester. What was your goal difference this season?
oh,
Was it
that's a good question.
128, 129, or 130? So, Chester, was your goal difference 128, 129, or 130?
They're
I
really
like it.
thinking about that. Look, I'm looking at
The sky, like, help me, God, please. Send me a message.
It's actually the part of the brain that people, isn't it? Top right, top left, where you remember. That's why you know when somebody's lying, because if they're usually, yeah, that's it. Because they like look away or look down. But if they
Well,
look,
do you know how you spot? Hey, do you know how you spot a liar?
just look at an MP.
Well, yeah, that's a given. But girls, you might learn something now. If you ask someone a question and you told them to tell you the truth, would you think by someone looking away is lying, or someone staring you in the eyes is lying?
Looking away.
Staring you in the eyes.
It's actually staring you in the eyes.
That's a sign of things to come, guys. Me getting all the questions right.
When someone stares you in the eyes and doesn't look away, they're actually probably lying.
But wouldn't you laugh?
No,
Wouldn't you
Staring
just
someone
go?
in the eyes.
because then you're like,
Martin's thinking about all the times he lied in his life.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I've got Keris, I've got Sophia.
Yeah.
And we got Molly.
Okay, Keris, Sophia, and Molly. So Keris, Sophia.
Oi.
What is that?
Right.
What's the mum's name who's listening? Who's also helping out?
Nita.
Nita. There you go.
Okay, girls.
Hey, what's that?
Right, girls, I want you to put your pens and paper down. No, put your pens down. Pens. Right.
Drop the mic.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you the question. You're going to give me your honest answer and show me it on your pad as well. So, Keris, first question. Who won the under-14s North?
Kingsville Power. Can you see that? Oh, where's
Yeah.
it?
Sophia, who did you say?
I put Kingsville Power, then I put boo.
Ooh, that's fight talk.
That is.
And Molly, what did you put?
Kingsville Power.
Let me. I can't see that. She did. Yeah.
Which way? You see
Yeah.
it?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Why don't you get them to hold it up to each one hold up to their piece of paper? Then you can write them all down and you can tick them and then you can tell them who won.
Okay, that's a better idea actually. Then. So, Keris. So we're going to do it a different
Oh, I
way
tell you
now.
what's a good one.
You're just going to put your paper up to the camera, and I'm going to mark down. So number 2 was who won the under-14 South. Brilliant. Put it down, Keris. Put it down.
Yeah. See, guys.
Sophia. No, at the camera. At the camera, Sophia. Can anyone see that at all?
Wait, let me hold it. Ready?
Oh, yeah. I've got it. I've got it.
Did I get it right?
And Molly.
Terrace meeting. Did I get it right?
Hold on.
The second one.
Can you see it? Wait.
It's so hard because it's like
Yeah. I can announce you all got it right.
Woo!
The answer was Pool Netball Club. Okay, who were the biggest scorers in this season's North and South League?
Yeah, we all put the same.
We all put the same. We all put pool.
Can I just check your answers, please? So you know what I mean?
Wrong.
Well, you all put Pool.
Yeah.
You're all wrong. It was Kingsville Power.
I got it right.
Oh. That's just sad.
That's surprising.
So KWP.
Chester on top.
Yeah.
Hey, girls, you should have beaten them, but you didn't, did ya?
No.
That was because of the 5 4
Yeah. No,
Was
it's
that
our last
because of
2
the-
minutes.
Yeah.
Right, Martin, let me give you a little story.
Go ahead.
So Chester, they're playing out of their skins. They basically have Kingsway Power on the ropes. But midway through the 4th quarter, it starts going a little bit Pete Tong, right?
Right.
And it gets to the final 5 seconds, and Chester have the opportunity to equalise. Not win the game, but equalise the game, yeah? So I start doing my 5-4-3-2-1. And unfortunately, the shooter misses. And guess who gets the blame?
You.
Because I did 5-4-3-2-1.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Oh,
No.
you can't have that. But that is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You wouldn't even know to shoot. I've got
There
your
you
back
go.
here, buddy. You can't pick on my Rich. No way. Not having that, mate. No way.
I've got a saying for you, Free. Do you want to hear it?
Oh, they didn't like the what?
Here's something for you to take on for the rest of your life. Do you want to hear the saying?
Yeah.
Don't blame the fruits, blame the roots. I'm the fruit.
The fruit grows out the roots, and then if the roots are bad, the fruit bad.
What I'm saying is, girls, what I'm saying is
I never heard that is bad.
what I'm saying is, before you look without, look within.
Yes, young Padawan.
Right. Who
Can I-
has scored the least amount of goals coming into this national finals?
I put Eagles.
Ellesmere
Ellesmere
I put
You're
Eagles.
all wrong again. It's CD Phoenix.
Ooh.
Right,
Oh,
here-
the whispering, the trans. What are you doing? What are you whispering?
Nothing.
right, next one is which teams are in the grand finals? So, Keris, show us your sheet.
Can you see it?
One.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Keris. And Sophia,
Sophia.
you need to learn where the camera is.
No, our camera's upside down. So
Oh, really? Really, Richard? You really want to say that, do you?
Hold on. 1, 2, hold on. 3,
But you're gonna have to have one.
Where
4,
was it?
5. Oh, Sophia. 1, 2, 3.
Did I
And
get all of
Molly.
them?
There's one underneath it. Wait. It's a bit. Well, which way is the camera?
Oh, but that's
It's a
it.
bit
That's it.
messy. There's
No,
one
it's the
underneath
camera.
3, 4, 5.
It's funny how you ask that question, yet when you're doing your selfies, you don't have any problem whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's inverted.
It's like, basically, if we go like that way with the camera, it goes the opposite way. Do you know what I mean?
So
And then
Sophia's
if I lift it
actually
up, it
sitting
goes down.
there.
I'm sitting, yeah. Sophia's
where I am.
See how our faces look really weird?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, we need to be on
That's
the
even
iPad.
without the camera, though.
It's because it won't right now I'm going the opposite way. So it's
Yeah,
like-
you're fine.
Alright.
Well, I'm pleased to announce that Sophia and Molly, you got 8 out of 8.
Oh.
And Keris, you got
We did not. No, we did not. Yes, you did.
Keris, you got 7. So at the moment, Sophia and Molly, you're on 10, and Keris, you're on 9. Put your pen down, Sophia, you cheat. Okay.
You don't get
Which
proper
teams-
quizzes like this, do you, these days?
Right, next one. Which teams are coming in unbeaten? Keris, show us your teams.
They're all in the middle.
Thank you, Keris.
I
And
got Kingsville Power and Pool.
thank you, Sophia.
I got.
Oh, wrong way. Pool and Kingsville Power.
Thank you, Molly. I can say I'm pleased to announce all of you got that right, meaning Sophia's on 12, Molly's on 12, Keris is on 11.
This is my pen. You stole it.
Right, look, which team coming into this event?
Paul Rowlands has put 2 minutes 17 seconds to be exact. What's that room? What was that to?
I think he's having a laugh.
Paul
Right.
Rowlands.
That's
Which
my
team?
dad. My dad. Hey, dad.
Girls, I need a cup of tea desperately.
Oh,
Which teams are coming into this event? Which team coming to this event who won it last season?
I put turn
Turn third.
Right, you all got that right. Well done, girls.
I was there. Remember, Richard?
Right, this is going to make or break you now.
dun, dun, dun.
How many goals did Ellesmere Port score coming into this competition? Show me.
322.
Such
Yeah,
cheat.
right.
That is cheating or what? Show me your shit. Right,
No,
you're
you-
writing it. I just saw you not writing that.
Nadia's go 322, 322.
Why don't we all say it at the same time then?
Okay, you all got that right, but you're all cheating. Keris is still one behind. How many goals did Eagles score?
351.
It was 350.
Way!
Wait, was it actually? Was it actually?
Hold on, I'm going to double check actually.
Did
So
Nadia tell you the 351?
No.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Don't give me that. She did.
Nita.
We know you're there, Nadia. We are watching.
Nita.
okay, so this is the last
Is it
question.
Nadia? Nadia.
Nita.
The last question is, what was your goal difference?
129.
That is such cheating.
That's team play, Richard. We bang on about it enough. Look, they work as a team.
Right, Keris, by giving them the answers, you've just killed yourself off because Sophia and Molly, you're drawing on points, and Keris, you're one behind. Meaning, Keris, you're out the competition. Okay,
That's so mean.
Sophia and Molly, I've got a tiebreaker question for you. A tiebreaker.
Well, you copied me.
And the tiebreaker question is,
Well.
okay, how many, right, Sophia, Molly, you'll give me the nearest person wins.
Oh,
How many goals did you concede this season?
you got top of your head. Shout it out.
Top of your head. No, Sophia, what are you looking at? What are they looking at?
Best competition
Sophia,
ever, mate.
you've got, Sophia, 5 seconds. Give me an answer.
332.
Okay, Molly, give me an answer.
203.
I'm doing that again. I'm doing it again.
Why?
Are you joking? Okay, again.
I'm telling you now.
Oh,
there's
hang on.
no
I think the
cheating
text
on there.
message is coming in with the answer or something. If you want to look at the screen.
Right? Can you honestly tell me there is no cheating there?
There's no cheating now. With no cheating.
Okay. Well, I can safely say. So, Sophia,
Yeah.
you're a million miles wrong.
Yeah.
Molly, you got the exact number. You're the champion, Molly.
Woo!
Sophia, if you would have conceded 350, whatever you said, you'd be in relegation battle. You're not that bad, Sophia. Come on.
I don't know about my goalkeeping skills, guys.
But girls, so Molly, I'll ask your mum or whoever what size you are. You win the ENG merchandise. How happy are you?
Buzzing.
Well, actually, Richard, he actually wasn't going to do this with us tonight.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah, she didn't want to do it. Yeah, she was busy.
The last person to the party always gets him free. So
Rocks it.
well done, Molly.
Well done, Molly.
But give us a score prediction on Sunday against Paul, girls.
I think it'll be a draw.
No, I reckon we'll win by like 1 or 2.
So 1 or 2. Sophia, I'm not even going to bother asking you.
350.
Your goals conceded. Actually, go on, Sophia. How much are you going to win by or lose by?
I think it's going to be like, I don't want to be negative Nora here, guys. Joking. I think we're going to win by like 3, I would say. But I feel like the scores are going to be quite like low. Do you know what I mean? Like this is going to be, so maybe like
20, 30.
Yeah. How long are the games?
32 minutes.
So is there 4 quarters or is there just 2 halves?
4 8 minutes.
Oh, 4 8 minutes. That's interesting.
20.
Yeah, 20 in the 20s.
Yeah.
Was it? Have you been studying how Paul play out from their centre pass?
No, not really. How do they play out on their centre pass?
Come on, give us some tips.
They won't know. Just give us
Check the live stream.
Oh,
Girls,
watching.
Let me give you some advice. Give me a second. Do not turn up on Sunday without knowing how they play the game of netball.
Yeah, we should probably watch a couple of videos.
I think you probably should, Sophia.
I mean, there's the James Bond deal, $9.99. You can watch every live stream game in the league.
You know the really cool goal shooter or goal tack?
Oh, God.
Go shooter. But Sophia, I'm not telling you. You've got all the information. Thank you very much. I will see you Sunday. Be prepared. Please be prepared. And hopefully you have a good game. But thank you, girls.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hashtag.
Where's this hashtag? Hey, I've never seen that before.
Hashtag.
Hey! Oh, coughing up a lung. It's brilliant.
Thank you, girls.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, these kids, man.
Didn't even know back on. Oh, great quiz,
What I
mate.
say, Martin, is hashtag watch the live stream.
Hashtag, yeah. Hashtag. Gotta love it. What? There we go. There's it. Is that hashtag already out there? Hashtag watch the live stream.
I think we should. I'm going to do something tomorrow on my social media. Hashtag watch the live stream.
Yeah.
Do not come into any of these games not knowing what to expect.
If you do this in hashtag watch the live stream, see if it comes up with anything. I don't think so. Or is that all part of the hashtag? There we go. What hashtag watch the live stream? Done by TikTok.com. So maybe you want to change it to ENG. Watch the live stream.
Oh, Mount, we don't need a paragraph for the hashtag.
Yeah, I know. FBL.
Right, we've got.
Something like that, anyway.
I've got 8 minutes.
Oh, there we go. Watch the live stream, FBL.
Yeah, watch. And yeah, so based on that,
Oh.
8 minutes. I'm going to do a quick summary of Sunday. So Sunday we've got Poole against Chester, Grangetown against Turnford, Kingsville Power taking on CD Phoenix, and Ellesmere Port taking on Eagles. This event in particular is packed full of superb, talented teams. And I think the biggest thing for me this week is just trying to gauge the excitement from everyone. With the under 12s and 13s, it was quite clear to see everyone was excited, everyone was ready, everyone was wanting to support. But this one in particular is a tough one to gauge. I'm struggling to gauge if they're excited, if they're nervous, if they.
Chester seems excited.
They seem excited. So hopefully they come in with the right mindset. Hopefully they all come in with the right prep. Do not come to this competition without analysing the teams you're playing.
Definitely.
Even if you think you're going to beat teams, analyse it. Be ready. Now, Chester, they're playing Poole. It's a tough game. It's one of the best. They're playing against one of the best teams in the country. You'd be crazy not to watch the live stream and work out just picking up on little things like centre passes and how they move the ball around the court and, what side the shooter prefers the ball to and all that sort of stuff. So you have to do your homework, unfortunately. If kind of training is not enough. Analysing is the key thing as well. So give yourself the best chance possible and make sure you do your homework.
And for spectators, come watch. There you go.
No, it's a tough one. Gauging the response to this one is a difficult one.
But if you can make it there, come down, support them. Without a doubt.
It's incredible. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. Like the games are incredible.
Oh, why do you reckon I live stream them?
Well, the games are incredible. So it's just oh god, it's just so potentially. Just say again, let's work off the fact that teams higher in the leagues will win their games.
Right.
It didn't pan out that way on the under 12s and the 13s, so it might not pan out. But let's just say it does. If Poole beat Chester, they potentially play Grangetown or Turnford. Now, if Turnford go against the script, we could have a Poole Turnford semi-final.
Yes.
But Turnford have got to get past Grangetown. Grangetown have made big improvements this season, big improvements. And that's going to be a superb game. Like, I can't tell you enough how good that game's going to be. So if Grangetown play Poole, then Grangetown have a chance to prove that they're not here just making up the numbers and they have a real genuine chance of getting into the final. I don't think it's not as the gap between the so-called best and the rest is not that big. You just got to teams like Grangetown, teams like Chester, CD Phoenix, Eagles, Ellesmere Port in particular. Just do your homework, analyze, and prepare, because the gap is not huge. And if you just do that little bit of homework, that could mean a difference between winning and losing, like we saw on Saturday as well. Kingsville Power plays CD Phoenix. Again, I hope CD Phoenix do what Ryland did. They approach that game in a positive way. They work stupidly hard. They do their homework and take the game to Kingsville Power. So, again, if they can do that, we're in for a very interesting game. Ellesmere Port Eagles. Ellesmere Port beat Eagles last season. So both teams for me are still similar ability. They're still a similar type of standard. I think Eagles out of both teams have made the most progress. I know Ellesmere Port have got a couple of players injured, which is not ideal. But again, 50-50.
I'll change my betting now then. Right.
Yeah. For me, Eagles have the edge in terms of because they've got the personnel. They haven't. I don't believe they've got any injury worries or anyone who can't make it. But again, a very evenly matched game. Chester are going to have to again do their homework and start well to make sure they put Paul under as much pressure as possible. But it can be done. Again, just disrupting the way they play is key to getting ahead. And once you are ahead, not blaming me for the 5-4-3-2-1 at the end. That's only 5 seconds of 32-minute game.
Exactly. Well done, buddy. Yeah, I'm
So,
back on that one. Definitely.
So the semi-finals we could have potentially, but then So,
dude, there's also another thing. The venue. Sorry to jump in with that one. It's amazing.
Oh, the venue is just when you get to this venue.
Oh.
It's a bit like when I played football and I used to play at a place called Iffley Road, and it was like a Wembley. The pitch was like Wembley. It was to our detriment because every team that turned up on it wanted to play football.
Yeah.
I'd rather have played on a bog because I might have had a better chance of winning the games.
Oh.
But it's a fantastic venue, and once the teams get there, they'll be thinking, right, I want to be on the centre court for the final.
There's only 2 courts. Which one's the centre?
The one in the middle of the seating stand and the far side.
Okay, let's get that one sorted.
It's going to be. I'm going to, in terms of who I think will reach the final, I think it'll be a Kingsway Power pool final. But I'd love to be proved wrong.
It's a good one, actually. I'm just looking at that. Yes. You could be right there.
But again, it depends on the day and stuff. But based on form, based on how both those teams ended the season.
What about Chester? Who's Chester playing first?
Paul.
Interesting, Mr. Bond. I don't know. Chester might win it. Okay.
So that's my prediction. And look forward to a good day. But come on, people, get down there, get behind the teams, and make sure you show your support because you are the 8th player.
They are indeed. Don't forget.
Well, they'll be letting them compete with one person watching and their dog. We don't.
Don't do that because me and Richard have watched games, and I tell you, the games have been, well worthy of a pay-per-view, and the atmosphere without people watching, supporting is dire, isn't it? It's get there, support them. As much as I make money, pays for the live stream, but it's that thing. The atmosphere is everything, and again, the venue is amazing, mate. Well chosen, sir. By the way, well chosen. It's
a fantastic venue.
I love it. I love the venue. It's amazing. Absolutely. Don't forget, people. Stay up to date. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitter. Both companies, ENG and obviously FBL. But ENG, Richard, you update that a hell of a lot. I've been busy this week, but I've just seen lots of stuff come out on Instagram that you've been putting out there as well. It's but for updates, especially on the day, Twitter as well. That's when if I get time, I try and send some updates out. But usually these updates tell you what teams are playing, but it can be quite hard to negotiate the times and stuff. But get involved, people. Follow these social media sites that we've attached ourselves to give you information. What do you reckon, Richard, with that? Because you send out lots on them, don't you? And
yeah, like we've had a lot of people this week say, "Come have a t-shirt, and like the amount of
t-shirts,
the amount of emails we've sent out, the amount of stuff on social media. It's like 2-3 weeks we've been pushing that. So it's just yes. When
how many of these have you got there?
I ended up with 30 left from the event.
Right. Okay.
So we did well on program. But look, the program. Well, this is not the front cover. This is a different front cover. But
yeah,
it's a 48-page program. It's just packed full of information. I'm actually just double checking.
Loads of information.
I love it. The only bad thing about doing these programs is people come up to you and say, "You've made a mistake."
Yeah, I gotta say, I made a mistake. I gave him the wrong that telephone number here, by the way, for FBL Broadcasting, whatever you. There we are. That number's actually wrong. I confess that's not Richard's fault. That's mine. I kind of sent him the things I was busy, and then realized once the print had come out that it was wrong. But you can find our information on the website, or if you want to look it on FBLStreamsLive.com, the orange box in the bottom right-hand corner. Always fill that in. The chat box, the messenger, member chat, whatever you want to call it. Fill that in. It's always better for getting our information. Right.
Well, look forward to seeing everyone again Sunday. This Saturday, we've got the start of the ENG Under 11s Netball Cup. So it'd be great to get. I'm going to try and we've got quite I would say, a quiet start on Saturday in the Eastern finals. But at the same time, is quality over quantity on Saturday, because the 6 teams we have there, because we only have a maximum of 10 at these events now, and the six we've got there are all amazing teams. So it's going to be a fantastic start to the competition. We've got a fully booked one in the south, then the week after, then a smaller one in the Midlands, then we've got a fully booked one in the north. Then the nationals come to the Essex Arena on June the 11th. Woo! But these under 11s, they're gonna feel like superstars. We're gonna make you feel like superstars under 11. So be ready for us, and we're gonna put you in light. We're gonna put the ENG light on top of you, and gonna give you the platform to showcase your netball ability. So that's kicking off on Saturday. Sunday we've got the under 14s grand finals, and just want to see some good competitive netball. But I also want to see some good support. So if you can get there, make sure you support. And make sure you make enough noise so these girls feel special and they feel like you are definitely behind them.
Make it loud and make them proud.
Precisely. But cup of tea time.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who supported everything we're doing. And I will look forward to seeing all the teams Saturday and Sunday at the Essex Arena.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. See you Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, cool.